Check, 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 check. Okay, what's up? What's up? Looks like my mic is actually working. Good morning and welcome back. Welcome back to another live session. Hope you guys are doing good, feeling well. Be sure to check out the disclaimer as you're tuning in if you're watching on YouTube. Remember that day trading is pre-market today. It looks like we had a nice move in ZOOZ. I'll post the watch list here. I'll get a couple of trend lines on there and I'll be ready to go. Two in particular that I like. ZOOZ and HEMH. BREA from yesterday. You know, maybe there's a second day of continuation, but it's already over 30 bucks. I think we got to highs of about 60 or 70. Let's see, let's just double check here. No, 50. 52 was the high. So this one is possible that, there might just be maybe just one or two opportunities here for good setups today, and then that's it. Being that yesterday was the main move. So BREA, we'll see. Over 35 early could be interesting for a break of the pre-market high, maybe a push to 40 and then back down. But if it's able to retest 52 today, I mean, I'm pretty sure people will love it. BREA, definitely want to keep an eye on as well. But coming back up to ZOOZ, I'm actually kicking myself for not at least coming at 9 a.m. because this move looks like it was pretty good. We had 927 high, which is really impressive here, and pretty much straight up, which is what I like for pre-market. Right now, we're consolidating below the VWAP. We'd have to hope for a red to green. And just to confirm on the daily chart, how are we looking? It looks good on the daily chart. 460 was our previous high, going back to either the IPO and or name change if it had one. 460 and 440, which we're above that level right now, or those levels, I should say. So, we'll see. It could be backside already. So if it is, I won't be touching it. But if it curls up and there's something, then, fair game. Right now it is coming down, bouncing off of 460 so far. I'm going to start off my screen recording. The alarm is coming up here. Time. We got about 6 minutes to the open. So AGMH, which is, up 200+% at $7.25. This one started in after hours and is still holding up fairly well into today's pre-market. Highs 867. Any of you guys trade after hours? Seems like we get a good move every now and again. Not bad. Volume a little lighter later, but it looks pretty healthy for today. It's holding up well. We'll see if it's able to give us something here. Most recent low, down at 687. So AGMH, I think it's going to be my top stock into the open here. And then I'll take it from there. Share size, we're at $7. Looking to start a little slow, just a couple hundred shares. I don't mind sizing up as long as I can gain a good rhythm with the stock and have some early success in winning trades. I really think BREA is worth watching simply for the opening surge, you know, the break of the highs early. So I'll keep an eye here. It's a $34 stock. So you gotta manage your share size accordingly. Okay, and for ZOOZ, how's it doing here coming into the open? We're pretty much at new lows. It looks like it's backside already, so that one was an early pre-market push for a couple minutes, and then that was it. So top two, AGMH and BREA into the open for me here. Time, 3 minutes to go. So we had a good look at the scanner. I'm going to come over to the 10-second chart now. For anybody who are interested in the scanners that I use, this one is called Day Trade Dash. The link is down below. You guys can always check it out. Also has a decent 10-second chart here. So coming into this day, for me, the aim is green. You know, just looking forward to ending on a nice green day here. Gonna take it slow. Gonna try to get something and just walk away early. Unless it's just a really hot day, we're gonna stick around a little longer. But if it's like a slower looking day, you know, in the first hour, we're just gonna look to take our profits here. So the aim is green, and on top of that, we want to make sure to manage risk. We want to be confident towards any trades that are holding up well in support. Other than that, if a breakout is coming up and looking pretty good, we got to be in there, right? Can't you know, afford to be on the sidelines and allow ourselves to miss any good breakout trades. 2 minute warning. By the way, I think BREA. I'm gonna switch the screens here. BREA. I'm gonna put this other one over there. This one is looking most likely to do something right away. I don't like going back and forth between the screens, but being that we got a quick 2 minutes here. Share size. I'll just have 150 shares and then 250 shares. Not looking to go big on it or super, super aggressive. I definitely know there'll be people using maybe 5, 6K shares right here, but looking to take it easy. If we do see a good opening surge, you know, can we get $1 a share or two? There's also going to be risk, so you have to manage risk accordingly and be careful. $36, really 35.21. It's kind of right here. 36.06, the high of the last candlestick. $30 seconds to market open. For those of you in the chat room, what's up? Good morning. Good to see you guys. Yesterday I was absent, but today we are present and ready to go. I don't really love to miss days, but sometimes, you know, sometimes it'll happen. There was a seller there. We broke through. There's definitely a big spread. Thinkorswim's chart lagging like crazy here early. Well, we got a bit of a surge, right? So we got $100 there, which was our plan on this trade. So far, it is still holding. Can we see candles closing above 35 and 36? I'm going to give it another minute or two here. Keeping an eye on the chat as well in case something does curl. Smaller size trade here. Watching to see if it does end up holding up. Back to 35.50 at least would be good. The volume is lighter here too, which is worth mentioning. There's a new candlestick. Scratch trade. AGMH, red to green, over 7. AGMH, red to green. We got a high of 744 there. Highs are now at 72. It's just going. We're not really seeing pullbacks here. Hmm. High of the current candle is 78. We're seeing new lows on the pullback. Gonna give it a sec. There was a seller on the ass that got me out right there, but you know, we'll see if it does end up holding up here. It's quite the pullback though, you know, we typically don't want to pull back this much. The bounce at 7 is working. Bit of a slower bounce, but it's working. I had a pretty good fill there too, but I let that seller get me out of the trade. BREA, red to green as well. I want to watch in case it gives a V-shaped red to green, which we have been seeing, like a quicker red to green without consolidating at the lows. So I'm going to keep an eye out just in case it wants to sneak back up. If not, it could already be backside here. There's a seller 40, and it's not going to rip through. What's that, like 20,000 shares? I'm going to check out a different one here quickly. ZEO, looks like it's still a little too early. I'm going to size down right now just to be on the safe side and wait. BREA. BREA, is it worth a stab at the resumption? I think so. With the small size. Can we add another $100? AGMH still under consolidation. 40 right now is the resistance. And we have support around high 90s, low 7s. For now, at least. I had a great trade 703 earlier. Sold it a little too soon as there was a seller coming in. Ended up being a break-even trade there. Did not get back in since. Oh, you son of a gun. I might miss this resumption. Okay, there's a minute. I do like that AGMH closed with a good bottoming wick. On the 5-minute candlestick. Is it going to be enough to get us over the resistance though? Is this it? Oh, you son of a gun. Not good. I'm long at 28 and took a break-even trade and a loss there. Not good. Here's the resumption. Not quite the dip and rip I'd want to see. Okay, we took some losses. You got to be careful here. AGMH looked really nice. We got up to like 50, and I'm like, I'm just going to hold this to 60, 70. I'm in at 28, adding at 45, and I'm cooked on the trade. And that looked pretty good. BREA has been a little wild on the resumption. Big pullback there. It held. Yeah, AGMH looks like it's finished. Man, that red to green would have been nice over 40. Okay, what is the next one? Or is that it? Absolute was the reason the stock crashed right there. In a chat room, selling massive size up at 45. As Pastor trying to hold for 60. We got a red to green BREA here. 37 held again. Oh, I missed it. Will we see a pullback before it goes? The halt is at 43.72. Damn, that fill cooked me, man. Should have been in way lower than that. But the spreads are pretty big. Sometimes these stocks are better to be in and just holding, you know? Sometimes the scalps are a little tricky, especially with the spreads being this big. Well, getting in there, just gonna have to buy and just, look for it to hold so quick. This breakout might be a little interesting whenever it does come. Hard to shot. No good. Good size bid there too. But It might halt down. Like there's a lot of selling. 35.04 is the halt down. QUBX doesn't really look like my cup of tea. I think sidelines for now and just waiting. QUBT and QUBX seems like higher float. I mean, we've had a bunch of green candles, but ZOOZ, not much there. Man, these charts are just so laggy. If you're tuning in on YouTube, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. We got 700 people and only 78 likes. Can we get up there to 350 likes? 350 likes. For good old Relentless. Good old Relentless. Hit that thumbs up. We do appreciate it. BREA halting down. NUKK hitting. Is it looking any good? Lighter volume. Hey, GMH bouncing at 625, which was after our highs It's a nice balance for anybody who might have caught the area. Just not seeing much here right now. Not seeing much here right now. So far, we're green, $200 and waiting. AGMH actually is coming up quite aggressively here. 730. Now the question that I have is where's a good entry, right? Being that I'm so late to it, it's just going so 750 high. We had a break of VWAP 75, break of 7. It feels like I just have to wait for a pullback. Trying to chase at 50 might be the wrong move here. Or maybe chasing at 50 is the right move. They're 70. Going. 5 day is at 80. Oh, okay. We didn't quite double bottom. We overshoot a little bit. Yeah, I gotta chase those entries. Look at that follow through. Wow. Waiting for lower. We're never gonna see that. It's a little wild. I'm giving it a sec here. Is it selling all the way off? It looks like it is. Good move up. Terrible in holding up. See, once we get in that bottom, we're like 15 to 18 cents off the bottom very quickly. So, it's a little tough to try to jump in, especially if we're going to retest the lows. You can find yourself being in like 18, 20 cents high. It actually held up again, which is interesting. VRFH, I missed that one. It should go. It's holding well enough. We'll see if it does. New candles, a little bit of selling pressure. I think I'll try again here. Not the best fills, but trying. This one is an interesting one, man. I'm surprised that as to how aggressively it came down, but I guess it does make sense that in that type of massive move and on a day where it's just been a little weaker, people are just taking the profits right away. And despite maybe some short sellers covering, the selling pressure from people taking profits just so high that, we're crashing back down. Fair play, fair play. Fair is fair. Can't take your eyes off of it either. It's like moving so quick. You look away, it's back up. Gotta stay locked in. I feel like my issue these days is that I trade too tightly. Like, as crazy as that might sound. Can we see that push through 8 all the way? Holy shit. It's turning out to be a strong stock. I gotta size up if it's gonna be a strong one. Also gotta manage the risk though and avoid big flushes. Big Steve, it's our time to not get caught in the flush and to capture the massive trades. Holy shit. $9.43 halting up. So the selling pressure didn't get it this time. This time it kept going. Short sellers getting caught up here. It looks like it'll get locked in 53, well, 43. Yeah, it is. Damn. I caught one of those moves, but I only had small size. I already had size down. Holy smokes. Which one was it? 50. Let's see. 95 to 88. Almost $1 a share, man. And then 31 to 60. And 95 to 6 to 88 is madness. Now, it is strong, but I still don't want to give back my entire day, right? I know back in the days right here, I'd size up even more and just go Rambo style. I'm just gonna still push forward with some ease and then try to ease into it again. I'm not gonna go all out right away. This is where we've played a video of Tim saying 5K size, by the way, right here. Resumption, 3 minutes. It's showing sideways. IDAI, are we seeing sympathy? Are we seeing sympathy momentum on IDAI, or is this a bluff? I don't know. It looks a little shaky. DNR? Is that a different one? That I missed? Or is that like a abbreviation for something? Oh man, I gotta get with the lingo here. Time, a minute. Who came up with that, man? DNR, dip and rip. I never heard that before. Now let's hope there's a good dip and rip. 43 seconds. It'll resume in 40 seconds. 99% chance that it does. What I'd love to see is a push to like 970 and then a massive flush. And that massive flush, I'll be aiming to be in close to the bottom and then riding the wave back up. If it doesn't dip, I can go for it, but there's the chance that you're in and then the dip comes. So, you know, we have to all manage our risk here. 5 seconds. Dip, 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 dip. Please. Please, it's not dipping. Fuck. Damn, boy, getting them. Oh my god, getting the fill is a whole nother story. Damn, what a trade. Getting the fill is a whole nother story. I know Big Steve is smiling. I can feel it. 1132 highs. I still want to see another pullback here. It looks like it might keep going. Man, getting the fills is a problem. It's moving so fast. Flush. Give another quick pullback. Show me closer to 10 or below 10. Closer to 10 or below 10 for Pastor. It's climbing already. We had 10, 12, which, you know, is kind of close to 12. So it might be bottom already. Over 11 again. Tight stop. Not quite. It seems like it's losing the volume for over 11. Yeah, so pull back. How low are we going to go? Okay. Still tough to trade. 1256 is the halt up. All right, I'm going to size down. I'm going to size down right here and wait again. And be a little bit more careful and patient. I feel like the follow through is not as good yet in terms of the new consolidation here, the last 3 minutes. We're not seeing as big of candles as we just saw. So I'm going to ease off and wait a little bit. Our green candles are getting a little smaller. Lows right there, 35. Is this safe or do we need a little more? It's worth a try, I think, with smaller size here. I'm going to watch. If not, I'll be in lower. Trying for 50. Not the best fill, but giving it a try. Can we see back over 11? All right, there's back over 11. Will we continue? Tight stop, 15 cents risk. It's not right away. Giving it a sec. It could end up retesting the low of this range here again. But watching and waiting, it could still continue. Could just be a late bloomer here. Yes, it's going to continue. I'm going to hold here. Can we see over 60? Is he holding there? Come on. All right. Okay, it's going to pay off. About to say, bro, I risked not taking my 50 cents. And then we're back in oblivion. The range is still massive, though. It's back down to 13. That was high of day. It didn't continue on that new high. Only by like 20 cents. Is it time to go short, perhaps? No shares. But only like a 20-cent risk there for me. Like a 60, I'd cover that from 40. It would have been a quick scalp down. 44,000 shares to sell on the ask. And back to 20. I think right now getting in on a pullback might be a little bit better. That way I can try to hold it a little more. Damn. And you got to just expect to be in 30 cents higher than you want to be in, right? The risk is enormous here with these fills. And I might have came out a little too soon. I'm hoping to get a lower entry here. Can we get... Can we get the opportunity for a lower entry, or is it already too late? See, if I'm filled lower, I'm still holding that trade there. Bro, it's looking like it wants it. I'm going to give it a shot just to see what it does. See, this trade, if I get that fill, this trade is just such a better trade, you know? It looks like it wants it. Go, 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 go. Fly. Fly to 12. Holding for 12. Holding for 12. I can see it in my mind. And I get filled at 70. Trying to sell over 12. Retest. Oh, no. That's a good size loss. Okay, alright, fine. It's how the fills for me can just, you know, dictate so much of how the trade will go. So 1240 back down to 1130. And we're waiting here to see. I tried selling at 1230 and I got filled 1178. Brutal. 60 cents difference. Brutal. Brutal. Oh, oh. I'm going to chase it here. That will not work. Gotta be careful. It seems like it's holding higher though, so I'll pay attention for that next time. We have a red candle now. And we are still holding higher. Can we trust it to continue to hold up? Red candle on the 5. That trade is not working. Okay, fine. We're getting higher lows, which I do like. I don't want to run out of mental capital taking small losses. Gotta be careful. Oh my god, bro. Alright, I'm gonna ease down now for good. I lost 1K off the top is enough. Damn. Trying with size in those couple of areas there, just not being able to catch the continuation. We're coming back down with a red candle here. I'd like consecutive green candles for the new highs. Got smoked. Where are we? Maybe a good place to ease off here. Unless it's going to go to 30 or 20. But our new highs are getting like less and less of a move right now. We could still see another explosion, but for now we're seeing just about a 50, 70, 80 cent push and then back down. Not really getting to see bigger green candles through the highs. So I'm going to ease off here. Our candle is closed on the 5. Can we hold above 1130? And then, I mean, 1030 is kind of low, but if we can hold a consolidation at 1130 especially, still very bullish. 1030, the next line in the sand if it comes down. Well, I'm at work. Why am I getting calls here? Honestly, it does look interesting. If we can clear this miniature range here. That's not clearing the range. Below 11 for dips, I think. Below 11, flush out, flush for me. Flush down for Pastor. Waiting, 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 waiting. Taking 65, 70. And I'm getting cooked. What was that, 40? 20? Well, I'm way too early. 1035 probably would have been a better level to just wait for. What was I thinking buying it 1060? What was the low? 1012. Well, that's definitely backside, right? Oh, man. Gave back so much trying to get the new highs. But we will take this beautiful day and run. I think I will take the gains. I mean, it still is that we had a bottoming. We're getting a bottoming wick on the 5-minute candlestick, but I want to be very careful here, even with the small size. You guys will see though on the YouTube stream that I'm very like defensive right now. You know, Wednesday I came in, I missed the big push. Like you can't like this is the thing with trading. Like if you miss these big pushes, it's just tough, man. I got up to $700 trading the scraps, and I kind of kept pushing to see if we could get another move back to red, right? So being that today we caught a bit of the meat and potatoes of the move, and we caught it with small size, right? Our max size was 1,200 shares. We're trading very defensive here still for obvious reasons, right? Being in the slums, it's hard to come out and swing with size, especially when you try it and you get punched in the mouth, over and over and over again. So just keeping it slow, keeping it cool. I'm going to be here till I'm 90 years old anyways, so I have time. I have time to just take it easy and then slowly over time as we continue to see more and more hotter moves, we'll get back into the right mental shape to take size in the right mindset. The time will come for 5K size on the dip and rip. That time is not right now. The biggest thing is, is if we can see consistent momentum like we had last year. Like last year, every day there's a stock like this. Like I'm not Like 90% of days, there's a stock like this. Almost every day, sometimes 2, 3 times in one day, as in from 9:30 to 4 p.m. Which is why I had such ambitious goals this year, is because I'm thinking, all right, if we're gonna see this time, I'm gonna just go even more size. And then it's like slow market, and then the momentum is somewhat different some of the time, a lot of the time. So will we see this type of momentum more often coming into the end of the year and then the new year as rates continue to come down? You know, if so, then I think the chat room here, we're gonna have a very special year next year. Yeah, the chat room is concerned for good reasons here, reading some of the comments. We have a member in the chat room down 100K today on something, I think on a different ticker. You know, the biggest thing is always consistency, right? Even for someone like myself, right? If you're not able to be consistent every single day as much as you would like, the key is to just go small size. You know, we can't afford to be losing thousands of dollars a day just to try to get on the right side of things when we can do that same exact thing more efficiently in terms of cost. So that's where the size comes into play. And you can live within your means, within your realm, as you work to get back to where you need to be or get to where you need to be, right? If you go super aggressively and you're seeing some, you know, inconsistency in your trading, you're having some issues with your trading, then that's where you can definitely have a lot of problems when it comes to losing a lot and losing a lot quickly. So to give yourself the most longevity, the key is to use small size, and don't think of it as you're never going to be able to make back your losses, but instead it's more of like a tactical retreat, right? You're taking a step back to take a major step forward. You're giving yourself more time in the battlefield. You're giving yourself more time to complete the mission. You're burning less fuel by being a little bit more stationary with your size, you know? And then when you do start to connect with your trades, and then you put that size behind it again, and you know, there is something good that comes from taking bigger losses when your account is big, especially. Um, when you take losses early in your career, it sets you up to be able to take on a lot of risk later when you do become consistent. You see 100K loss in your account, and your account is a big account, you're used to seeing money. When you figure it out finally and you get back on the right side of things, it's easy for you to take 100K size in these same trades that you would be using with the small size for that time. And then, you know, what becomes $1 a share winner with 300 shares, $2 a share winner, that 600 then becomes 60,000 once you then put that size back to it. But best to lose 1K than 100K, or 100 rather than 1,000, you know, all depending on each person's situation. It's not easy to do mentally, but it is the right thing to do, and it's what's necessary to be successful in this field. Which is why I put on the 2,700, I'm up 2,800 today, right? And what was a strong move. When I was down that 2,800 two weeks ago or last week, it's why it was a blow up day, because I had no business being down more than like 800. If I'm going to be up 2,800 on a strong day and I'm red 2,800 on a normal day, I have no business being down that amount of money, because it's a 1-to-1. It's on a day like this, right? We did what we were supposed to do. We capitalized with the small size. If we're using small size, there's no way we should be allowing ourselves to be red 2,700, 2,800 in one day. It doesn't make any sense. It's like we need to stop sooner. Something needs to change to not be down that much that quick. You know, and breaking rules and going past the max loss multiple times. Sizing up in areas on a day where it's already been tough when I should have been sizing down. Right? So relative to where we are right now in our trading, losing 2,700 is terrible. It's mentally is the same thing as blowing up and having like a 10K red day in a hotter market when you're trading better for my mental. It's all relative, right? Earlier this year, at any time last year, if I'm down 2,700, it wouldn't even like matter, you know? And I'll draw back on those times to remember it doesn't matter. But the reality is if you're in a drawdown or you're struggling and you have a massive loss, which is 2-3 times the max loss, it's a problem. And it should never happen, especially being that you're in a context of trying to rebuild, trader rehab, smaller size, trying to gain confidence. So, you know, we have to always do the right thing, even when it's hard to do. And that's the only way to really improve as a trader. So even for me, you know, at the end of the day, nobody's coming to save us, right? Nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's coming to save anybody who's red right now or who's struggling right now. There is no manager, no boss, no anybody, no other trader in your circle who's going to come and push the buttons for you. You can review, you can have study sessions, but in the moment, we have to look forward to choosing the right thing to do every time, all the time, whilst making limited mistakes throughout the process every day. The moment we give in to temptation and the moment we start to choose the easy route is the moment we start to have losing trades. So, you know, it's the job we sign up for, so we have to embrace it. And we have to push forward even when it's tough. Even if we're red 2,700 in one day, or if we were up big on the day and we give back profits. This is a nice red to green here, by the way. 5-minute candlestick making a new high. What's going to be key here is how this candlestick closes. So far, the candlestick is young and it's gaining good volume. It's pushing up. High of days at 1290. We're not that far away from the highs, actually. If we see early pullbacks, how well will we hold up? Sometimes you could see the red to green, so I'll keep an eye just in case. So far, so good here. I'd love to see something more for the pullback, though. Oh my god, my size. Hold up, hold up. That's not what I wanted. See, I could have got myself in. That would have been tragic. My god. I'm supposed to be in with 150 shares. I'm in with 1,500 shares. I had a typo in my thing there. See, even if something like that happens right there, let's say that just flushed down and I, now flat on the day or whatever, or lose half. Even when that happens, it's part of the deal. You just smile and what I shouldn't have done was probably cut the trade because it was the entry I was looking for, but I mean, there's massive risk in trying to take on that size position. But in below 11 and would be looking to hold longer here just to see if it's able to curl back up closer to 1170 and then potentially push through. It could be a short pullback or it could end up being a more prolonged here on this flag. So far, so good. If it doesn't have what it takes, then, I would definitely be selling half and then holding something just to see. Big Steve, that entry there is the same trade that I took where I had that $300 loss on Wednesday. It's the same exact entry. That stock went up to the $0.50 and then came back down to like 33 and I stopped out. This thing has more left in the tank. What's interesting is if I didn't realize my size, I would have took the trade, and would have made the dollar a share. Hmm. I'll try again. It's having trouble here. Okay, there we go. It should go all the way. No, it's not. 1192. See, I'm not taking my 20 cents there, thinking we should see at least 50. 1 minute candles making the new high off a bull flag. And it's not instant. So I'm taking those choppier losses again. I still think the pullbacks here are worth it. We're on a red candle though on the 5, so gotta be careful as it's coming down. We could see a bigger flush, but so far it's holding up well, and I'm willing to give it 2 or 3 attempts here to re-average if it wants to go low. Low and slow. Probably could also use slightly smaller size here, just in case we have to take a couple attempts. We're not really losing on the way down. Okay. How low will we go? How low will we go? How low is too low is also a good question. Always. If it dips, I'll add back for the move, or it might just go right away. What's it gonna be? Oh, come on. Bro, I'm trading so tightly. It's not instant here though, which is fine. I'm giving it time. 1290 is the high and the target here if it's to be strong right away. I'm not loving my entries here. I'm a little too indecisive. Got to be more firm and fierce. There's a seller of 40,000 to 25. It'll get bought up all right. Somebody probably taking profits is my guess. The stock is pretty bullish, so I think it'll get bought up. Holy shit. Where did I get 59? Damn, it got bought up quick. Holy shit. Damn, bro. I wasn't expecting that. Oh my goodness. See, those are the moves you just can't miss, bro. Like, Jesus Christ. 1510 is the halt up. Brother. Bro, I'm getting the worst spills. Come on, man. That is terrible. It looks like it's gonna go. It's just, we're not really getting those sweet dips. It's kind of holding steady and grinding here. Man. It's holding high for now. The fills are really cooked. You gotta expect to be in 30, 40 cents plus or minus, which is fine. I want it to give a sweet dip if it can. It's holding so tightly here. I don't want to overtrade it as it's coming down, but I definitely want to throw out an attempt or two here and there, just so if I can catch the bottom. $86. Maybe a wider stop can help here too. Yeah, I gotta give some wider stops. Still trading a little too tight. It still looks pretty bullish. It still looks pretty healthy. Ah, why did I not take it, brother? Come on. Why did I do it to myself? And it is ready to pull back. Damn, man. There's no way I should be missing that. I could have easily been in at 50, man. Easily. I just didn't hit the buy button. It didn't sell all the way off, so there's a chance it does retest over time. Ay, ay, ay. Not good, not good, not good. I'm getting in too high. Got bailed out. It's gonna retest. But can it go all the way? You can do it. No, you can fail is what you're doing. Right back down. It didn't sell off all the way again. I'm gonna try to hold if possible here. Tight stop, 15-cent stop. And it needs... No, it might need more. Yeah, okay. I'm fumbling, man. Fumbling. I'm the fumbler. Time to change that. Take me to 16. Bro, freaking hell. It's like it wants to go and it's not. It's like the stock itself is giving this hesitation and then making me hesitate. It's like I feel 16 and then, you know, or like getting cooked in the spreads. Check. Not getting over 16 again. No progress. Chasing it. Can we see 17? Rip, rip, fly like you know you can. Fly, teleport. Oh my god, man. Alright, I'm done. I'm not making anything. Sizing down and easing off. Nothing. Have to retreat to 50 shares and not overdo it. Let's make sure our share size is correct this time. Yeah, you can't afford to miss those bigger moves though. Those bigger green candles, you know, those are the ones to really to get. And sometimes the longer hold is the key too in some of these grindier candlesticks. We're back down in size and taking it easy. The halt up is at 1842, by the way. Halt down is at 1228. It definitely feels a little bit more heavy. Maybe it could be getting shorted. But for now, it's still ripping. The 200 EMA is at 1863. Heads up, 1863 to 200 EMA. It's still pushing, but doesn't mean that it can't sell off here soon. But for now, it's still pretty bullish. Small pullback here. After this, actually no. After this, I have to go do some obligations, but I have to tend to some obligations. But after that, I'm gonna be driving all the way to Hoboken, New Jersey. Hoboken, New Jersey. So if you're in Hoboken, New Jersey, maybe I'll run into you here if you're not still trading in the next 3 hours. Man, I can't believe I was so in rhythm and I didn't really capture this move here. Like you can't allow it to happen, you know, like right here to 14 from 12 on a 1 minute 3 bar play from 1230 over that seller to 1506. And I'm saying the seller is going to get bought up because we're so bullish here. And it's like on that dip to 12, I just didn't buy it thinking I'm going to buy it as the seller's coming down, you know? And so I'm in all the way at like 60 and I'm out at like 13. Brutal trade to not capture. Brutal trade. That's a 10:53 market time. Oh, that is. I'm in at 50. I'm in at 59, out at 62, in at 77, out at 14.10. 40 cents on a $3 share move is just not good enough. Grateful for the green there, but man, tough. Being that we're in proximity of the 200 EMA and we've been feeling heavy, I mean, you know, it could still squeeze again, but definitely worth keeping a close eye here. Could be backside. Or the night is still young, and Big Steve will be pushing size till to $50 a share. What will it be? What's interesting is that we'll only know at the end of the day, you know, when you come back at 4 p.m. to see what happened. There's been a lot of days where you leave right now, you come back, the stock is at $7, sold off. And then there's been a few days where you look back at 4 p.m. and then it's like, whoa, this thing got up to 40? So the people that are here every day till 4, they'll always be watching the action. The endurance on those troopers to be going from pre-market to close. There could be a breakout here. Is it going to happen? It is. There's 50. 60. Could have been better. The high of the bear flag, it's still holding. I should have been in the lower though. It's back down. We're at the shot. There's a bottoming wick. It seems like it's going to hold up and try again. That's what it's hinting at right now. Assuming this red candle doesn't just collapse. The dips could be worth it for the retest eventually. Just 50 shares for me, not using any size here. Locking in the day here pretty much. Big Steve, 20K day. Bro, shout out to Steve, man. One of our chat room members, MMU student. Guys, we still have a lot of, for those of you who are not in the chat room, there's still a lot of traders in the chat room doing very well. Very consistent. Some are our students, some are just chat room members. Shout out to Shay, shout out to Alice, Hollis. You know, there's a lot of traders. Glumford. Shout out to Glumford. I'd hope to meet him one day too. You know, some of these traders are pretty local. There's some local traders I still haven't met yet, living in the tri-state area here. We did meet a lot of great people though over the years. You know, people like BMAC. You know, I mean, just some great people, man. Some OG members of the chat room, you know, Wrong Bet, Thanos, and those guys. Some people go with their chat room name, others they'll put their real name. So the dip held up for those people still paying attention to the pullback here. High or low, which is not bad. And now can we retest 1660? This is a very obvious pattern taking place here. We're in a consolidation, and the key is always, you know, we're going sideways. Can we go back up over time? We had the low, higher low, which is a good sign. Bottoming wick, good sign. There are people still taking these trades at 5,000 shares right now. 10,000 shares long. Right now, already up 70 cents in a trade, Big Steve. It begs the question of pushing it to the limits. Here it goes. Will it go all the way, though? Big level here, big move. Red to green. Will it sustain 1650 at least and retest the whole dollar? 70 is the real line in the sand, but we need this candlestick to close above 70 and it's selling off. Some short sellers and people perhaps in low just taking that $1.80 trade. Hey, can't blame them. This is where high on stocks would make his money, right here, right in this consolidation. All of us trading the front side. Guys like high on stocks, they come in right here and then they make a killing in this range. For those of you interested in joining the chat room, I know someone did ask for the link in the last live streamer and I was leaving out. There it is. And then, by the way, today myself and Marcelo were live streaming for the entire chat room. Anyone in the chat room can of course join in. Real time, no delay, plus a little bit more. Actually, did he join? I can, if he's joined already, I can fix it here. Copy, server settings. I'm gonna shut it down soon. All right, there we go. Oh my God. VidPan. Hey, VidPan, man. As I mentioned last time, what you were saying was 100% right. I just got into my feelings a little bit that day. Like, I kind of knew I fumbled the bag. It's been such a tough couple months, but at the end of the day, right is right. You know, like someone in the chat room was calling me out pretty much for not being aggressive, and I banned the person for no reason. So I have to admit that, you know, it was a poor, weak move from myself, and that anytime anybody is giving me any good constructive criticism, I gotta take it because it's ultimately the thing that'll get me better. You know, on a day like this where I was able to do a little bit better is also in part of that criticism. So Vitali, or I'm not sure if that's Vitali. I don't think it is. It might be. If not, we'll just go by the chat room name here. Vitpan. All good, bro. Yeah, yeah. You know, it takes a good leader to admit when they're in the wrong, or just a good person, really, I guess. You gotta do the right thing. It is Vitali. Holy smokes! Yeah, if I if I had known that, I definitely wouldn't even had you know, the people who I know personally, I give a little bit more, you know, free reign. And I hope the daughter is doing well. Vitaly, are you listening to the stream right now? If you are, I hope your daughter is doing well. The only person who I wish I could talk to right now is Raphael, right? One of these big time short seller that was in the chat room for about 3 years, then left. I hope his daughter also is doing well. We've had a couple of chat room members who've, of course, took the step in starting a family. 16 months old, growing fast. Lovely. Vitaly, anytime, man. Yeah, that was all me. That was all. You know, I guess it's been a bit of a tough. It's been a bit of a tough couple months. The pastor has to up his game, and something I was telling myself in that time is that there is nowhere to run, there is nowhere to hide, but to show up and to improve and to try to be our best selves. You know, the studying over time will pay off. There are things that we're noticing. There's things that we're talking to other traders about. So over time, slowly but surely, especially when there's good momentum like this, because ultimately we don't need a solid day, a massive day every single day. But keeping things at bay, managing risk, and then on the days where the momentum is really there for the style of trade, that's where it really matters. And on those days, as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do, we're going to be raking in a good weeks, good months, and ultimately good years. So just have to shore up on all the mental things and keep studying, and it'll pay off over time. All right, guys, I think this is where I'm going to shut it down. PLTS. I think I'm going to shut it down. Is this an IPO? It might be an IPO. It looks like it is, or if not, it's a name change. It could end up being something, or it could be nothing. The resumption is showing 678 in the next 4 minutes. I'm going to leave this one alone. I'm going to take the green and enjoy the weekend, study up on Sunday as usual, and be ready to go for Monday morning. So for those of you who were here early back in the days, especially when my Instagram page was pretty small, back then I used to have a lot of long conversations with subscribers, video calls, talking to people all over the country about trading and like trading strategies. And it's how I met a couple people that I kind of have more of a personal connection with, I'd say. You know, Vitaly is one of those guys who also lives close enough to where at some point, you know, once the meetup is here, we can dial it in. Shout out to Nikki from the chat room, Twin. I mean, there's been so many of them. People who I've done video calls with and like spoke on the phone for 3 hours, 4 hours, multiple times over the years. Okay, I'm gonna shut it down. AGMH, of course, you know, still worth keeping an eye on. And then PLTS halted up. I'm gonna lock it in and enjoy the gains here. It's been a good day. We'll take it. Yeah, PLTS could be something or nothing, right? But just pay attention to the resumption if you're watching. Small size first, perhaps, for the students here. Manage risk. Only take the trade if it dips. And then, of course, if it dips and doesn't rip, you kind of have to live with it. But if it's one of those resumptions that hesitates first, some people will insta-buy, like, for that breakout to come. I've done that in the past multiple times. It's worked sometimes, but the days where you're in at the high looking for the extra move and then the actual dip does come, you guys know I never hold through a pullback like that. So it's usually a devastating loss. And sometimes it's tough to buy back at those lows to actually get the move. So, you know, you got to be careful and manage risk. There's 59 seconds to the resumption, showing $7. So it might end up being a 10-minute halt. But all right, take care, stay safe, stay green. All right, guys. Ace in the building saying never quit, nothing is impossible. Some motivating words there for all the traders who are struggling, perhaps, who are read on the week, the month, the year. For the traders who are doing well, you know, we have to always continue to look at those traders as motivation and encouragement to keep pushing forward, right? Never fall victim to looking at another trader and being upset that you're also not green, right? You know, guys like Ross Cameron, for example, who might be up 50K in one day. It's a matter of looking at that stuff and saying, you know what, man, it's possible, you know? This thing halted down. Look at that. PLTS halted down. Instant halt down. False halt down. I wouldn't touch it. The spreads are way too big. It's just too risky. But, you know, for anyone who is struggling pretty bad, the key is small size. That way, you know, the losses are very respectable and manageable so that once you do get to the other side, you know, digging yourself out of the hole does not take a lot of time. You know, maybe even a good day, a good month, a good week will get you to all-time highs, and then you know, you go from there. Because it is exponential when you get to consistency and then you put the size behind it. But all right, we're going to end it there. Take care. Stay safe. Check out the links for the scanner. Check out the links for the chat room. They're down below. Catch you guys next time. Ross up 230 today, man. Insane. That is pretty. Man, if I'm up 230 in a day, I just can't imagine what I'd be doing with the cash, you know? Of course, I'll do all the right things, like to take aside some for taxes and then start, continue to build a portfolio. Definitely would be into real estate aggressively at that point to deal with those type of gains regularly. Man, I mean, that stuff is insane. But from all of that, all the, besides all the business things and tax things, the free cash that you'll have for yourself at the end of a day of making 230K. Again, this guy is doing this stuff regularly, right? At that point, you can literally do anything you want to do when it comes to money and finance. Some people love cars. Some people love to travel. Others like watches. Some people like trying different food, different cuisine, fine dining. Everyone has that thing that they like to do. A guy like Marcelo probably goes camping and buys a couple acre or maybe opens up a farm or something, right? But whatever you always dreamed of doing, you definitely could do, and, maybe get some more enjoyment from those things. But anyhow, let's use that as motivation and encouragement to keep pushing here to one day perhaps get to those fine levels. If he comes to the team house, I'm telling you guys, I'm not even going to trade that week. I'm just going to be there, and then my neck is going to be over his shoulders. Literally, physically, everything. And I'll be watching to see what I could learn, because even if it's one small thing that could, improve my trading, it is worth it. Especially for pre-market. But anyhow, guys, take care, stay safe, stay green.